So I wanted to make a follow-up video to the Can You Complete Sonic P06 with only Mach Speed Sonic, because there's been some pretty significant developments in it that I'm excited to share with you guys. But firstly, I just want to give a huge thank you to all of you for supporting that video. It was a big step for me as a content creator to hand over a main channel video to somebody else to edit it, and I knew my friend Philip is cold was going to school for editing and filmmaking and stuff, so I thought it would be pretty cool to see his take on making a Stumble 98 video, because ultimately I would like these channels to be bigger than myself and provide as much value as possible in whatever way is possible, both the main channel and the second channel. So I'm so happy with the positive reception. I'm glad you guys liked it, and I hope I get to bring Philip back to make some more videos for you guys, because it was a ton of fun working on that with him. Secondly, I'm doing a SONIC-A-THON starting May 1st, where I'm going to be playing through a ton of Sonic games in my favorite way, and I need your guys' Sonic opinions to help me out to make the event as fun as possible for everyone, which usually includes a little extra suffering from me, but I think I can manage that. I hope you're excited for it. I am incredibly excited for it. Check out the link in the description, because that will send you to the form, and that will obviously close April 30th so that I have time to get everything together for May 1st. Before I jump into it, really quickly, just to explain the rules of what this challenge was, if you hadn't seen the video, though I recommend checking it out. Anytime there was a character swap or at the start of any stage, we had to switch to Mach Speed Sonic as quickly as possible, and in order to consider the challenge complete, I allowed use of any variant of a single section. So we could use Sonic's Wave Ocean first section, or we could use Shadow's Wave Ocean first section, or Silver's Wave Ocean first section, and all of those internally have different letters assigned to them. So like Sonic's Wave Ocean Section 1, Tails' Wave Ocean, and Blaze's Wave Ocean are all Wave Ocean A, for example. So starting with the first thing I wanted to mention is that in Sonic's Wave Ocean in the video, I said that he could not make it past the checkpoint before the whale section because he just couldn't gain enough speed to get to the boardwalk and go do the whale chase and all that. Turns out he actually can. One of my oldest viewers came back into the fray, Mapingua, found that if you launch Sonic into one of the pillars, it will break, and I think Sonic like stands on one of the crumbly pieces, or maybe just taking damage stalls him in the air. Whatever happens there, it allows him to get just a little bit extra distance to actually make it to the jump panel, which at that point you can make it to the other jump panel and do a little bit of shenanigans with like the light dash and stuff to make it to the whale set piece with like the jumping boards and all that, even though it looks a little bit strange because obviously we're not playing the game in an intended way. And for whatever reason, doing it in this way allows you to switch characters in Tails' section without actually switching from Sonic, because as I talk about in the video, normally when you are in this section, you are technically controlling both Sonic and Tails at the same time, and Sonic is the primary character. That's just how the game works, which is something we had to take into account way back in the day in the Shadow release, because we were able to go underwater at the beginning of Wave Ocean and get Sonic all the way to the Tails trigger, and then Tails could go out, but we like held him in place with the Sky Gem. It was really neat stuff. Anyway, point is I don't understand why. I guess because the cutscene doesn't technically play correctly, we're able to use the character switcher and it switches Tails and not Sonic that's overstalled on the whale. So we can switch to Mach Speed Sonic here, and we can make it all the way to the switch and even press it if we like, but it doesn't do anything. And given the Silver releases invisible walls that are guarding us from the section trigger or anything, there's no way Mach Speed Sonic is able to get to the Mach Speed section. And speaking of the Mach Speed section, I'm actually surprised I didn't see any comments on this, but I guess you kind of have to know internally how P06 works in order for it to kind of make sense. Is I mentioned in Dusty Desert that instead of using Sonic's Dusty Desert A, I could have used Shadow's Dusty Desert A and had a much easier time. Similarly with Wave Ocean, I'm surprised no one caught that I used Shadow's Wave Ocean B, even though I could have just used Sonic's Wave Ocean B, because that's just the Mach Speed section, and obviously Mach Speed Sonic can complete the Mach Speed section. I'm really happy that I didn't think about it when I was doing the challenge. I guess because like Shadow's sections are technically reversed, I considered Shadow's Wave Ocean B be the replacement for Sonic's Wave Ocean A. But I'm glad that Shadow's Wave Ocean ended up being a really cool route regardless. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. The challenge is a lot easier if you don't have to do all these Badnik bounces in this section, because it took me a while to route this out. Now for the big hitter. Shadow's Aquatic Base A was the only section that I couldn't find a way to complete when I did the challenge, and I'll be honest with you, I'm really glad I didn't at the time. Turns out what you can do, and what I forgot about, is that in the big circular section, there are boxes outlining the the side of the room. And what we can do with Mach Speed Sonic is we can push the box to the room with the balls going left to right or whatever and getting that huge jump that we weren't able to do before. And we need to perfectly position the box so that we can go back toward the center pillar, turn Mach Speed Sonic around to get a running start, and then jump on the box in just a way that Sonic will push it so it's angled, and then we can get a slope jump off of it to make it to the other side. And this was so unbelievably painful to do. I was in this room for an hour, and for full transparency, for this follow-up video, I did use the photo mode in case I like accidentally fell into the pit or like accidentally died by like ramming into a box too hard or something like that, just so I didn't have to start at the checkpoint and do a bunch of the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in order to kill these enemies just to get another chance. If you have an incredible amount of patience and you want to do it from the checkpoint, be my guest, but this was absolutely painful, and I do not wish this on my worst enemy because, oh my god, it took so long, and there were so many failed attempts, and I accidentally throwing the box into the pit and all that. It was just miserable. Here we go. Oh, it was almost there. But what this does mean is that you can, in fact, complete Project 06 with only Mach Speed Sonic under these rule stipulations. And that is so cool because one of my pet peeves, of course, with challenge videos is like someone comes up with a challenge idea, they make a video on it, and then they find out 10 minutes in that they can't actually do it. But they're like, oh, we'll just cheese through it and then finish the challenge anyway. And I was really sad that that's kind of how the Mach Speed video ended up, but it was also a sub goal for me to do this video. So yeah, my hands were kind of tied, and thankfully, at least for me, again, it's a pet peeve and I'm just being like quirky or whatever, and that it ended up being something we couldn't do, but thankfully it was at the very end of the challenge. But now the whole thing is completable. So if you want to throw your face at this, be my guest. This was found by Murraythehuman, unsurprisingly, huge contributor to Sonic P06 mods in our awaiting for the last release. As insane as he is, he didn't even do this legitimately. He used the Unity Explorer to change the position of the box perfectly so he didn't have to set it up and then give it a test run. But this is certainly an exercise in patience if you want to do this trick. Don't forget to check out the form for the SONIC-A-THON. Thank you all for the support you've been giving the channels recently. It's an honor to sit and make content for you guys, and hopefully with every passing video, every short, every rant video, every speedrun video, that it just continually builds and builds and creates more and more value for you guys. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.